Has there ever been a time when you made a major decision and you either instantly regretted it, or now that you got yourself into that situation, you wish you could just snap your fingers and things could go back to the way they used to be? Well, my friend, today, just imagine if there was a video or someone to tell you some of the major regrets that people have when moving to Arkansas. Well, that's what I'm going to deliver to you today, in no particular order, with no specific count of what they are, but I will be numbering them as we go along. The first reason that comes to mind as to why people regret moving to Arkansas actually is the cause for the rest of the other ones we're going to discuss in this video, and that is they didn't do enough research on the front end. And so, my friend, you are a step ahead of these people doing this video research right now, visiting with me to find out what are these reasons. You're doing that research. You're trying to intentionally find out about what life would be in Northwest Arkansas. What would life be in the other or more rural parts of the entire state of Arkansas? So doing that research on your front end, being really fully aware of the positives, the negatives, the pros, the cons, and everywhere in between, what makes sense in a new living situation for you. So doing research, people, my goodness, if you're going to move to a new area, at least do what you guys are doing right now and research that area to really fully understand what is life going to be like in that new area. We find in this same sections that expectations versus reality. I know for my wife and I, if we understand what we're going to expect going into a new situation that is different than what we're comfortable with, that helps us lead into that situation a little bit easier. If we don't know what to expect and we get there and we think or rationalize in our brain that here's what reality is, what we're expecting versus what we know, that's when usually people regret or get into a situation where they're not happy about it. On to number two, a lot of people regret moving to Arkansas because there isn't very good healthcare access. Now, I'm going to say this multiple times in the video, is it really depends on where in Arkansas you're looking to move. If you're looking to move here where I live in Northwest Arkansas, there's phenomenal access to healthcare. Or maybe even the Little Rock area, you have access to healthcare. Personal story, 13 years ago when our twin daughters were born, they needed special NICU attention. And here in Northwest Arkansas, there wasn't that level of a NICU. I don't know how to explain it specifically, but we had to go drive down to Little Rock in order to get that specialized attention that they needed. So if you're looking for somewhere more rural in Arkansas and want access to phenomenal healthcare, you have to do that cost benefit. Do you want to live more rural, but then you don't have access to good healthcare? You're an hour or 2 hours away from that. That has to be something that you consider for your specific situation, my friend. Bringing in some numbers here, according to U.S. News, Arkansas is ranked 47th, all the way down at 47th in regards to access to wonderful healthcare. So you may be coming from somewhere that has phenomenal healthcare, and you think just because maybe Northwest Arkansas or Little Rock is a developed area, we might not have the same level of healthcare that you're experiencing wherever you are in another part of the country. Another reason people regret moving to Arkansas is because of the lack of public transportation. As you're doing your research, you're going to find out that Arkansas isn't as developed as an entire state. There's a lot of rural areas to Arkansas. So we don't have ready access to Ubers and taxis. We clearly don't have a subway system here. Some areas like Little Rock in Northwest Arkansas do have public transit, but it might not take you specifically to where you want to go. Of course, if you live downtown, for instance, here in Bentonville, if you live downtown and you're wanting to go to activities, go buy groceries, go out to a movie, what have you, maybe you could roll or stroll to get to those activities on a one-wheel, on a bicycle. Or maybe you do want to drive to get there, but you should know that if moving to Arkansas, for the most part, my friend, you're going to need to have your own transportation. So don't move here and go, where's all the public transport? It's not here. Now I'm speaking in absolutes. There are public transport options. There are Uber options and Lyft options depending on where you are, but not as readily available as many other areas in the country. Another factor that has caused people buyer's remorse when moving to Arkansas is the lack of access to high-speed internet. Maybe you work from home. Maybe you like to stream your TV or play games online and you need high-speed internet. So fiber internet, depending on where you are and how rural you want to be, might not have access to high-speed internet in order to properly stream those services. Here in Northwest Arkansas, Little Rock, and many other areas around Arkansas, you might have access to companies such as Cox Internet or AT&T. And if you're farther out, there are companies like WhisperNet or Starlink that offer some type of satellite internet service. I don't know how fast those services are, but just know that if you want the ruralness, you want to be away from people, but you still want those modern conveniences of high-speed internet, that could very well cause you regret. You find this beautiful property way out in the country on acres and acres of land with ponds and streams, but now you don't have internet access. So be careful as you're looking around and don't have that buyer's remorse when you need to have that high-speed internet. Next on our list is people didn't realize how hot it was, or didn't realize how cold it was, or didn't realize that there were tornadoes. If you're moving to Arkansas and you don't realize that we get hail, tornadoes, and thunderstorms, I'm glad I'm telling you right now then. We have hails, tornadoes, and thunderstorms, my friend. In fact, Arkansas receives on average 39 tornadoes a year. Most recently here in Northwest Arkansas and down in Little Rock within the last couple years, we have seen some devastating tornado damage. Now, it's not necessarily that you might not know that we receive severe weather. It's that I constantly hear from people who say, well, where are all the homes with basements? Or where does everybody go during a storm? Well, my friend, my family, we go to a closet that's on the inside, not on an exterior wall, but that's on the inside of our home. Many homes in Northwest Arkansas, where I live, I can speak intelligently to that. I've got videos with statistics on how many homes have basements. But for the most part, Northwest Arkansas and many areas around Arkansas do not have basements for you to go in the case of a tornado. I would also encourage you to consider where you might be coming from. You have a carport, or you might like to park outside. Because of the fact that we do get hail and tornadoes, I would recommend you finding a home in Arkansas that has at least a carport or a garage for you to be able to park your cars inside of. To that point, another reason why we don't have basements, at least in Northwest Arkansas, is because we have a very rocky terrain. So in order to dig down far enough to build a proper basement, we might have to use explosives. You use other means in order to dig a proper basement. Many of the builders and developers here, in order to keep costs where they need to be, are not going to build homes with basements. Many of our homes are built slab on grade, my friend. So if tornadoes are of concern to you, know that there are companies that you can hire to come in after the fact, if you're buying an existing home or even building a new home, to come in and build a safe room or dig a safe room out in the backyard to be able to have a place to go in a weather-related event. Here we go again, my friend. If you're looking to live somewhere very rural, you want to get away from people, don't be surprised if there aren't many job opportunities for you. Of course, with more people, there's more development and there's more jobs hanging around. For instance, here in Northwest Arkansas, we have major employers like J.B. Hunt, Tyson, and even Walmart is here. So if you're looking for job opportunities, Arkansas is probably more rural than where you're coming from. And of course, you could commute into those major cities like Little Rock or Northwest Arkansas, for example, to be able to find job opportunities. But if you're wanting to be rural, just know that there's probably a less likeliness for job opportunities. And if your job allows you to work from home or work online in a rural setting, you have to go back to one of our previous reasons and make sure that that area has high-speed internet in order to do your job properly. Next on our list, but not last on our list, is the lack of social life. If you are looking to find a very vibrant social life, like a major city like LA or New York, we don't have that here. We have it more so in our college towns like Fayetteville, for instance. There's a bit more of a nightlife, but go a little bit further north of where I live is a town called Bella Vista. There's like no nightlife at all. Many of the town's shops and restaurants close down between that 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock hour. So after 9, 10 o'clock, there's really not much going on. In Bella Vista, you'd have to go down into Rogers or Bentonville, or if in the Little Rock area or Mountain Home area, depending on where you are in the state, finding a nightlife might be difficult. Now that's just nightlife, my friend. Now getting involved in social clubs or affinity groups, maybe it's a church, maybe it's an organization of similar interests that you like to do. For instance, Habitat for Humanity or something like that, to be able to have, again, I know I'm belaboring the point, but if you're wanting to live rural, if you're wanting to get away from the major city, just know that a social life might also be hard for you in that there's less opportunities to get involved, to find those activity groups. But in our more developed areas, like Northwest Arkansas, you can find bike groups, canoe groups, you can find square dancing groups. You can find many different types of activities and cultures and church groups and whatnot in order to be involved socially. Now is our last topic. I find a lot of people, when they move to a new area, they regret not knowing that there is an adjustment period. You're no longer close to those friends. You're no longer near that family or have access to the modern conveniences that you had when you lived wherever you moved from. Understand, my friend, that there is an adjustment period. Whether it's here in Arkansas or maybe you're moving to Tennessee or Oklahoma or Florida, it doesn't matter wherever you move, but know that there is an adjustment period. And so with having that expectation and understanding it up front, give yourself a break. When you do move to Arkansas, when you do move to a new area, know that there is that transition time to get yourself a new hairstylist, to find that flower shop, or that routine that you are going to find yourself into is going to be different than where it was before. So there is that time. My friend, it's always a pleasure to put this information together for you. Now you know a little bit more about what life is like in and around Bentonville and Arkansas. Thanks for watching.